Good evening, everyone. Today we have joined today's Wednesday Dhamma talk, and today we will be reading from Anguttara Nikaya 3.39 and 3.40. Before starting the session, we will have a Namo Tassa. We can read the Namo Tassa all together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma. Homage to Blessed One. Today we will start reading from the Anguttara Nikaya. I think screen is visible. Paul, you could able to see the screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes, we will read together. And this is from Anguttara Nikaya, the Book of Threes, 3.39. It is topic name is delicate. Because I was delicately nurtured, most delicately nurtured, extremely delicately nurtured. At my father's residence, lotus ponds were made just for my enjoyment. In one of them, blue lotuses bloomed, in another, red lotuses, and in a third, white lotuses. I used no sandalwood unless it came from Kasi, and my headdress, jacket, lower garment, upper garment were made of cloth from Kasi. By day and by night, a white canopy was held over me, so that cold and heat, dust, grass, and dew would not settle on me. Like this is about, I think Buddha was saying here, like how he was living while before he started the practice. Like he was living in a mansion and he has been nurtured in a very delicately way, like he has all the luxuries in the mansion. And here they were referring to a sandalwood. He used to use the sandalwood that came from Kasi, and all the garments came from Kasi. Like it is present day Varanasi in India. And he was held a canopy over him while throughout the day, so that even the cold and heat, dust and grass would not settle in him. This was the luxurious life the Buddha was living before his enlightenment. I had three mansions, one for the winter, one for the summer, and one for the rainy season. I spent the 4 months of rains in the rainy season mansion, being entertained by musicians, none of whom were male, and I did not leave the mansion. While in others people's homes, slaves, workers, and servants are given broken rice stored cruelly for their meals. In my father's residence, they were given choice hill rice, meat, and boiled rice. Here, Buddha was explaining three different mansions, and these three mansions in different seasons. Like in India, we have winter, summer, and rainy season. And the Buddha used to live in the three different mansions, and he was being entertained. And here he was comparing how the food was given to slaves, workers, and servants, and how the same was how the same food was given in another residence, like his father's residence. Amid such splendor and delicate life, it occurred to me. An instructed worldling, though himself subject to old age, not exempt from old age, feels repelled, humiliated, and disgusted when he sees another who is old, overlooking his own situation. Now, I too am subject to old age. I am not exempt from old age. Such being the case, if I were to feel repelled, humiliated, and disgusted when seeing another who is old, that would not be proper for me. When I reflected thus, my intoxication with youth was completely abandoned. Like what here what I want to say is when normal was not is not aware that he's being subjected to old age, when that type of person sees the person who is subjected to old age, like all are subjected to old age, when he sees old person, then he will be realizing that one day we will also get old age. Because of this, he reflects upon this, that we are I am subjected to old age, and we are not exempt from old age. Again it occurred to me, an uninstructed worldling, though himself subjected to illness, not exempt from illness, feels repelled, humiliated, and disgusted when he sees another who is ill, overlooking his own situation. Now, I too am subject to illness, I am not exempt from illness. Such being the case, if I were to feel repelled, humiliated, and disgusted when seeing another who is ill, that would not be proper for me. When I reflected thus, my intoxication with health was completely abandoned. Here, the meaning is like here also similar ordinary person, though himself is subjected to illness, is not exempt from illness. When he sees normal person who is very ill, he gets disgusted with this. He gets humiliated because of this. And because of this, he gets reflection that we are subjected to illness and we are not exempt from illness. Again, it occurred to me, an uninstructed worldling, though himself subjected to death, not exempt from death, feels repelled, humiliated, and disgusted when sees another who has died, overlooking his own situation. Now I too am subjected to death. I am not exempt from death. If I were to feel repelled, humiliated, and disgusted when seeing another who has died, that would not be proper for me. When I reflected thus, my intoxication with life was completely abandoned. Here also, like normal ordinary person himself is subjected to death and is not exempt from death. When normal ordinary person who is not aware of this and sees someone who is died, then he gets then he gets understanding that we are also subjected to death and we are not exempt from death. There are because these three kinds of intoxication. What three? Intoxication with youth, intoxication with health, intoxication with life. An uninstructed worldling intoxicated with youth engages in misconduct by body, speech, and mind. With breakup of the body after death, he is reborn in the plane of misery, in a bad destination, in the roval world, in a hell. An uninstructed worldling intoxicated with health engages in misconduct by body, speech, and mind. With the breakup of body after death, he is reborn in the plane of misery, in a bad destination in the lower world, in a hell. An uninstructed worldling, intoxicated with life, engages in misconduct by body, speech, and mind. With the breakup of the body after death, he is reborn in the plane of misery, in a bad destination, in the lower world, in hell. This one is this paragraph which I was reading was similar to the Dhammapada verses, like which says that when we perform a wholesome action, then happiness will lead us. And let us say I am performing unwholesome action, then suffering will follow us, like a wheel follows the hoof of the draughts. In a similar way, here, like one who engages in misconduct by body, speech, and mind, then definitely with the breakup of the body after death, he will be reborn in a plane of misery, that is lower world. Here, the philosopher says, like, if one who does not realize that we are subjected to illness, we are not exempt from illness. We are subjected to death, we are not exempt from death. And we are subjected to old age, we are not exempt from old age. Like those who do not realize this, and they perform misconduct with the body, speech, and mind. Because of this, they are destined, and because of the karma which they do, they are bound to reborn in a plane of misery. And therefore, here the lesson from this paragraph is like we need to perform good action, wholesome action, by following our 5 basic precepts, like not killing, abstain from killing without purpose, and to abstain from taking what is not given, to undertake to keep the precept, to abstain from wrong sexual activity, to undertake to keep the precept, to abstain from telling lies, harsh speech, gossip, and slander, undertake to keep the precept, to abstain from taking drugs and alcohol. And the last precept the Bante added was like to be loving and kind to self and all beings. When we follow these precepts, then it say in other suttas, in other Dhamma talks, it said that if anyone follows these precepts, he's he is destined in a good destination wherever wherever we are born. Next, we'll continue. Intoxicated with youth, a bhikkhu gives up the training and reverts to the lower life, or intoxicated with health, he gives up the training and reverts to the lower life, or intoxicated with life, he gives up the training and reverts to the lower life. Worldings subject to illness, worldings who exist in accordance with their nature. If I if I were to become disgusted with beings who have such nature, that would not be proper for me, since I too have the same nature. While I was dwelling thus, having known the state without acquisition, I overcame all intoxications with health, with youth, and with life, having seen security in renunciation. Zeal then arose in me as I clearly saw Nibbana. Now I am incapable of indulging in sensual pleasures. Relying on spiritual life, never will I return back. The last para is really inspiring. In the sense, when one attains a Nikaya, he will not be able to come to the lower state because he does not have any misconduct in a body's mind, body, speech, and mind, and he will do not have any indulging in sensual pleasures, and he will be following in a spiritual life, and he will be never return to the life. Here, basically, like following, what is following is like normally for the students, what we advise is following three things will make us our life beautiful, in the sense our state of mind to be beautiful, happy state. First thing is following the precepts, like which I said. Like second one is practicing the meditation, and third thing is cultivation of wisdom. And precepts, like a daily morning when you wake up, you can remember these precepts and follow the precepts. And whenever you think that you have broken the precept, again you take those precepts by yourself or with the teacher. And then second one is practicing meditation. Like for students, what generally is advice given is like to practice the meditation for at least 60 minutes in a day. And some students may want to practice two periods, like half an hour plus half an hour. What we advise is like you can sit in a single stretch the longer period, because when you sit for a meditation, generally it for new beginners, students, initial beginner students, what they say is it takes nearly 20-25 minutes to settle the mind because of the all the worldings, because we do many activities, daily activities, and we go to duties, we perform a job uh, for surviving. And if you sit only for half an hour period, then actual time period of for practicing will be only 10 minutes or 5 minutes for new students or for beginners. And if you only perform half an hour and you come out of the meditation, effective. Like when you sit for 60 minutes, like sometimes you may be settled down easier, like quicker. And let us say you have settled down your mind from all the world, from the worldings, for around 20 minutes. You have a 40 minutes of time to spend exactly on your practice. That's why we advise the students to sit for at least 60 minutes, which minutes. And next we will be going for next sutta, that is the AN 3.40. We have Bhikkhu Bodhi translation also. Because there are these three authorities. What three? Oneself has one's authority, authority, and the Dhamma has one's authority. Here Buddha is saying about authority. Oneself has one's authority, world, and the Dhamma has one's authority. And we'll see what the Buddha is saying now. And what because is oneself has one's authority. Here, having gone to the forest, to the foot of a tree, or to an empty hut, a bhikkhu reflects thus: I did not go forth from household life into homelessness for the sake of robe, alms food, or lodging, or the fare, or for the sake of becoming this or that, but rather with the thought, I am immersed in birth, old age, and death, in sorrow, lamentation, pain, dejection, and anguish. I am immersed in suffering, afflicted by suffering. Perhaps an ending of this entire mass of suffering can be discerned. as one who has gone forth from this, as one who has gone forth from the household life into homelessness, it would not be proper for me to seek out sensual pleasure similar to or worse than those I have discarded. He then reflects thus: energy will be aroused in me without slackening. Mindfulness will be established without confusion. My body will be tranquil without disturbance. My mind will be concentrated and one pointed. Having taken himself as his authority, he abandons the unwholesome and develops the wholesome. He abandons what is blameworthy and develops what is blameless. He maintains himself in purity. This is called oneself as one's authority. Like Buddha was what in my perception was like Buddha was telling that we are our own teachers. Like even Buddha told to experience whatever, you need not believe everything. You can experience yourself for whatever the Buddha is saying. Here, Buddha is saying that a bhikkhu generally he he does he goes forth from the household life to homelessness, not because of becoming something or getting something, because he thinks that we are getting suffering. We are immersed in this birth, old age, suffering, pain, and we are experiencing suffering. And for coming out of this suffering of life of samsara, we are going forth. And he would not experience the sensual pleasures as earlier he would have been in household life. And because of the judgment within himself, he reflects that he would arouse his energy for getting the wholesomeness from unwholesome to wholesomeness. Like what here it was saying that our body will be tranquil. Body means even the mind is tranquil without any disturbance. Here the word used is concentrated. The Bante says that the concentrated, Bante uses the word collectedness instead of concentration, because our practice, which we practice tranquil wisdom inside meditation, is a collectedness. Like we are not focusing on one pointedness, we are just open awareness, we are observing everything here. Like in a traditional vipassana meditation, the students are advised to focus on one single pointedness. Here we are just allowing, just in our practice what we are doing is like whenever you're practicing, let us say we get an hindrances. What here we are doing is we are just allowing the hindrance to come in, just like we are recognizing the hindrance. We're not forcing the hindrance to go or come or be there, just allowing the hindrance to be there. Just first part is recognize, then release, like we are coming out from that hindrance by not involving into the thought, then relaxing the tightness and tension present in the mind and body, just relax, then come back to your object of meditation. Like for the students of initial students, coming back to loving kindness with spiritual friend, or sharing the loving kindness in all directions, or for advanced students it may be nothingness also. Then return to the object of meditation, then repeat the same whenever you get an hindrance. Like one's authority, Buddha is saying once has one's authority. Even you are in all our day-to-day activities, what we can do, we can perform is, you can watch your mind for way it is. Like you are doing some activity, you can just see what your mind is doing. And let us say you are getting distracted, you can just apply the 6 R's. and come back to your happy state of mind, like in your day-to-day activities. If you are doing, like you are, let us say you are performing some routine actions, you are getting distracted, you can just apply 6R and you can come back to the any happy state of mind and you can be with. And the best part, the Bhante says is like we can have a little smile in our face in all our day-to-day activities. Smiling makes our progress very faster. Therefore, we must remind ourselves that we are smiling little, at least little a Buddha smile in our face, and having a loving and kind to ourselves and all beings. This is the first paragraph in which we have oneself as one's authority. In similar way, and what because is the word here, having gone to the forest, to the foot of a tree, or to an empty hut, a bhikkhu reflects thus. I did not go forth from household life into homelessness for the sake of, but rather with the thought, I am immersed in birth, old age, and death. Perhaps an end of this entire mass of suffering was can be discerned. As one who has gone forth from the household life into homelessness, I might think sensual thoughts, thoughts of ill will, or thoughts of harming. But the abode of the world is vast. In the vast abode of the world, there are ascetics and Brahmins with psychic potency and with divine eye who knows the mind of others. They see things from a distance, even when they are close. They know the minds of others with their own mind. They would know me thus. Look at the clansman. Though he has gone forth from the household life into homelessness, out of bad, unwholesome states. There are deities too with psychic potency and divine eye, with who knows the minds of others. They see even from a distance, but are not even themselves even when close. They too know the minds of others with their own mind. They too would know me thus. Look at this clansman. Though he has gone forth from the household life into homelessness out of faith, he is tarnished by bad, unwholesome states. He then reflects thus. Energy will be aroused in me without slackening. Mindfulness will be established without confusion. My body will be tranquil without disturbance. My mind will be concentrated and one pointed. Having taken the world as his authority, he abandons the unwholesome and develops the wholesome. He abandons what is blameworthy and develops what is blameless. He maintains himself in purity. This is called the world as one's authority. Here, what Buddha was saying that the world has as one's authority. Here, you may be aware that there are gods, there are ascetics and Brahmins who have a psychic power to see others' mind. And let us say one performs any bad deeds, like a bad deeds, like or having any bad unwholesome states, and one may be aware that there are gods and devas who can see our mind and read our mind. And when he understands that there are deities who can see our mind, then he realizes, and he will arouse the energy in him, and he will establish in mindfulness without any confusion, and he will be in a tranquil. The word tranquil is relax, tranquiling, with mind having collectedness. And because of this arousal of energy and development in a relaxed state, what he abandons is he abandons the unwholesome states and develops the wholesome states. Because of this, he maintains himself, he develops in blamelessness, and he maintains its purity. This is called as worlds has one's authority. And now we will see about Dhamma has one's authority. And what because the Dhamma has one's authority? Here, having gone to the forest to the foot of a tree or to an empty hut, a bhikkhu reflects thus. I did not go forth from a household life into robe, but rather with the thought, I am immersed in birth, old age, and death. Perhaps an ending of this entire mode of suffering can be discerned. The Dhamma is expounded by Blessed One, directly visible, immediate, inviting one to come and see, applicable to be personally experienced by the wise. There are fellow monks of mine who know and see, as one who has gone forth from household life into homelessness. In this well expounded Dhamma and discipline, it would be improper for me to be lazy and heedless. He then reflects thus. Energy will be aroused in me without slackening. Mindfulness will be established without confusion. And my body will be tranquil without disturbance. My mind will be concentrated and one pointed. Having taken the Dhamma as this authority, he abandons the unwholesome and develops the wholesome. He abandons what is blameworthy and develops what is blameless. He maintains himself in purity. This is called the Dhamma as one's authority. Here, Buddha is talking that Dhamma is also an inspiration for us. Dhamma is also an authority for us to bringing up back the energy, arousal of energy. Like your Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One. It is very well expounded. The teachings are clearly visible and one can experience by himself by practicing. And because of this realization of the Dhamma, and when a bhikkhu realizes improper for me to be a lazy, then he arouses the energy to be mindful, and he develops a quality of abandoning the unwholesome states and abandons the unwholesome and develops the wholesome, and he develops blameless and he develops in purity. This is called as Dhamma authority. Like here we talked about three authorities. Oneself has one's authority, and second one is world has one's authority, and third one is Dhamma has one's authority. In once has one's authority, we ourselves realize that for arousing of our energy to practice the Dhamma and abandoning the unwholesome states and developing the wholesome states. Like you may be aware that whenever we are applying the six R's, we are following the eightfold path and four noble truths. And in when we are following this, basically we are abandoning the unwholesome states and we are cultivating the wholesome states. And the world has one's authority. It was said that since the world will also know, like ascetics and Brahmins can have a divine eye and they can read the mind, and because of this judgment of a bhikkhu that the god there are deities, therefore it is better to cultivate our mind and better, and because of this reflection he develops his energy, arouses its energy and walks in the path. And Dhamma has one's authority, which I explained now. These are the three authorities. Now we will read the stanzas. These bhikkhus are the three authorities. For one performing an evil deed, there is no place in the world called hidden. The self within you knows, O person, whether it is true or false. It means that let us say I am performing evil deed. There is no place that there is a hidden place. Like one will be knowing oneself that I am doing right or not. Let us say I am performing one deed. I know we will be knowing ourselves that it is true or not, true or false. Indeed, sir, you the witness, despise your good self, you conceal the evil self existing within yourself. The Devas and Tathagatas see the fool acting unrighteously in the world. Therefore, one should fare mindfully, taking oneself as authority, alert and meditative, taking the world as authority, and fare in accordance with the Dhamma, taking the Dhamma as authority, truly exerting himself, a sage does not decline. Here it is saying that world has one authority like Devas and Tathagata can see clearly how we are acting. Let us say one is acting unwholesome way, then definitely Devas and Tathagatas they can read our mind. Therefore, one should be very mindful, and one should do the acts which are good for self and good for others. And next, having vanquished Mara and overcome the end maker, the striver has finished with birth. Such a sage wise, a world knower, identifies with nothing at all. Like one who has overcome, attained arhanship, then he will not be coming back samsara. The inspiration is we need to walk on this path, and we should try to imbibe the qualities of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha in our daily life by practicing only three things. The three things are following the precepts, practicing the meditation, and third thing is cultivating wisdom. And when we practice the meditation, when we follow the precepts, then your meditation will be good. When your meditation is good, your wisdom level will be good. And when your wisdom is good, then you follow the precepts. When you follow the precepts, again all are interlinked. Like what we call is sila, samadhi, panya are the only three things that we need to follow as students. Now I will stop sharing and we will have a discussion. Like anyone have any questions or related to practice or anything, we can have a discussion. Gopinath sir, would you like to say something? Nanda madam, would you like to share? Paul sir, do you want to share anything?
I have a question about the last sutta. When it says mindfulness without confusion, what does that mean? Mindfulness without confusion.
What I understand is you have faith in the path, in walking in the path, mindfulness without any confusion.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
Really, it is a very nice sutta which we can reflect. Like first sutta was like we are subjected to old age, and we are not exempt from old age. And we are subjected to illness, we are not exempt from illness. And we are subjected to death, we are not exempt from death. These are the three things which we can learn from one of. And in second sutta, we need to make we need we we need to reflect that we should be mindful enough, like mindful enough in the sense you are having a balanced mind or relaxed state of mind. Like Bante says that if you have a tightness in your mind, it means tightness is the indication for our craving. We need to relax, and we should have relaxed, open-minded space, open space. Definitely, it comes by practice, and if we continue to listen to the Dhamma talks of, but you can listen to the Dhamma talks of Bante Ramsi, and you can read a wise books of written by Bante Ramsi or David Johnson or teacher like Delson Armstrong. Definitely, we'll get a very good insights by reading those things. Sindhu, do you want to share something?
Yes, actually, the reflection part, I actually liked it because every time we siksar anything, we need to actually reflect what we are siksaring. Are we siksaring the wholesome? Are we siksaring the unwholesome? This reflection will actually help us to know and establish the right in our. Thank you, Sachin, for choosing this with us.
Sir, would you like to share something, sir? Nanda, madam.
Um, Thank you very much, sir. It's an excellent talk. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. And now we can shade merit, and we will read all along. I'm sharing merit. Like we will all read along. You can unmute and we will start all reading along. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanking you, everyone. I wish all happiness to all. Thanking you for joining. Thank you.